example, everything's bigger in America. This depends on where you are. If you are on the East Coast, everything is not bigger because the distances are shorter. There's more people packed into the spaces that are allowed. It really isn't until you start getting out of the East Coast that you encounter larger states, further distances. That's partly because of geography, but it's also historically how the United States developed. For example, I come from the state of Oregon on the West Coast. When people think of the West Coast, they think of stereotypes about California. California girls, surfing, sun. Well, in the Northwest, it's a little cold. It takes at least 5 hours driving straight, there's no traffic, to go from the top of the state to the bottom.
The size of America alone. Size of America. How many times could Britain fit into that?
The continental United States is roughly the same size as the country and continent of Australia. We have a much more diverse landscape, but still roughly the same size. That's a lot. People don't normally think, I believe, of Australia being as big as it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think people realise the size of Australia.
Yeah.
Or how small Britain is in terms of landmass.
Yeah.
Or relatively how big Germany is compared to some other countries, but also how small it is.
Right. Other stereotypes about America that we're loud or boisterous.
That you all wear cowboy hats.
Yeah, that we're all cowboys. From the West, everyone's a cowboy. That everyone is also patriotic. Everyone has a flag. These things are maybe true about a portion of the people of the country. But as we said, America is a huge place. There have been many books written about the diversity and regionalism. That we are a very large country, but within that, it's better to look at the regions. Each one of these regions has their own identity.
Would I be correct in saying that part of the reason for the different identities is actually from how America was created in the first place? Because
Absolutely.
there were many people from outside of America coming in from all over the world, and they landed on different shores and ended up in those particular areas. So there are some parts of America that have a very French feel, very German feel, very Irish feel. So the different communities kind of set up there and had an influence to the language, food, interests, cultures, and such things.
Absolutely. In the Northwest and the West, we have a very strong Native American influence. Part of this is because as people came west for westward expansion, the government of the United States put the Native Americans on reservations in particular parts of the country. We have in the Northwest and probably Southwest, outside of California, very strong Native American influence. In the upper Midwest is a German influence. It really has had an influence on how these places have developed and the stereotypes that end up coming out of them.
Ironically, I mean, every country has these stereotypes, as we've said.
This has been Christina and
Michelle.
Again, thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment.